Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live. It's favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button. Hey, leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me and at BD Williams 18 for BD. And of course, pandasups.com. Use TDL code 35% off. Discount code TDL for 35% off. All right, BD. So we got our second win of the year. It was definitely a more relaxed win for fans. Probably the first relaxed win since I don't know when. I mean, what, like the Broncos game week 6 last year? Maybe it's been a whole year since we had a comfortable win. Week 7 versus Eagles, maybe. I'm thinking. I don't know about you, but it's been a while since we had a comfortable win. But we got one here. Raiders win 38-20 over the Texans. Awesome second half from the Raiders. They scored 28 points in the second half, scored 4 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs had 3 touchdowns. Derek Carr threw a touchdown, had his second game with a passer rating over 110. So, I mean, we're seeing some definitely growth from the offense. And, the defense, they got it going in the second half. I mean, they had a little bit of a struggles in the third quarter, but the fourth quarter, they really held it down. So, we're still waiting for that consistent 4 quarters from them. But the offense seems like they're rolling. They've been giving us 3 games of consistent 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So, they're rolling in the right direction.
This
So,
was this
what
was
you
an
guys see?
interesting game to watch for me. Offensively, like Josh Jacobs, we could say a lot of great things about him. He has to be leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns right now, right? Does anyone have more
I'm
rushing touchdowns than him?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about
All
that.
right, I'll look at that at some point during the show. But I mean, Josh Jacobs, he's balling right now, going nuts.
Yeah.
But then all the gadget plays, it was like, hey, this team, we are gonna pull out all the stops to win. Like, so all the reverses, all the double passes, all the things that this offense was doing. I mean, what are your reads on that? Besides, like, we're not leaving here without a win.
I thought Josh McDaniels has a lot of gadgets. I mean, he has a lot of gadgets in his offense. I mean, he's not scared to use them. People remember like the Julian Edelman pass against the Ravens in 2014 in the playoffs. All types of gadget plays and big passes they like to do. So I mean, that's something that you're not gonna you're gonna see a lot. You're gonna see those gadget plays. I would be expecting those more often. I mean, it makes for easy throws. I mean, some I know a couple of them didn't work. I mean, one almost bit a big fumble. Derek Carr catch with one hand. That was a big catch by him. And then, but the other ones, they've been working, causing big plays. And, I really like how it's mixing it up. And I like how they're on first down. They're not like second down plays. They're not like third down plays. They're first down calls, just in case something goes wrong, you could throw it away. And it's second and 10. You know what I'm saying? You have more time to make up for it. So I like when they're called. And, they're usually called on the plus side of the field, too, what they call like the fringe. I know that they
Yeah,
call that. So they're
fringe
usually
red
called.
area. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're called on the plus side of the field too. So I think that's a benefit of it. When you call those plays, you want to call them in safe areas and things like that. So we're not seeing them on the 20 or whatever. So you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but I mean the run game is definitely getting going. Good to see Josh Jacobs get that. I mean, how demoralizing is it? Your team's losing. Josh Jacobs is reeling off 15-yard runs and then finishing hard. Like, you're really having to like buckle down to tackle this guy. That's extremely discouraging. Raiders have a closer, as their back, as long as Jacobs can stay healthy. But he put the work in today. It looked really good. What about the passing offense? What's your takeaway for that?
The passing offense is clean, man. I mean, they're playing off the run game. There's a lot of play action today. I thought a lot of good play action. Adams got fed. Matt Collins had a touchdown on that seam throw by Derek Carr. I mentioned that on the preview. You got to attack the seams. It was a great throw by Derek Carr, attacking the seams. Because, I mean, that's what the opening of this cover 2. I thought Derek Carr was really patient today. You have to be patient against cover 2 against zone. And probably is one of the best games I've seen him play against cover 2. I mean, to be honest, I've really never seen him really play well against cover 2 defense. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So that was kind of one of the best performances I've seen from him. Kind of shows his growth as a player, that he's seen every coverage and seen everything. that he's able to succeed in that, and also talks about the weapons that they have around him. I thought Foster Moreau had a really big game, moving some chains on some big plays and some checkdowns. I think he's having a breakout year. I don't know who's going to sign him. Somebody's signing him next year to be a starting tight end. So, Foster Moreau is balling out there. I think he's having a good year. Of course, Adams was balling. A lot of yak from Adams, making people miss or some shorter
Yeah.
throws. So the offense is just rolling, man. They're rolling like crazy. I mean, they put what 32, uh, 29, and 38, and I know a lot of people want to give the defense that 25s, but we got 31 from the offense this game, so you can't say that, I guess.
Right.
So, right, but the offense is rolling. I don't know. It's probably the best they looked in a while. I don't know how they're going to be stopped when teams are playing too high against them, and you can't play too high right now. What are you going to do?
Well, yeah, you
They got
can't play too high with the way that Josh Jacobs is running the ball. That
well, you can't.
that presents a big problem, right?
And next, we're getting Marshawn Lattimore against Devontae Adams. So I mean, Marshawn Lattimore, he's a great corner, but he can be beat. And we're going to see some one-on-ones there and then playing single high next week, especially with them running the football so well. So it's going to open everything up for this offense. This offense is rolling right now. And, 28 points in the second half is, I mean, that's what everybody wants to see. They want to see these teams finish. And that's what we saw. So they're rolling, man. No way around it.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about with the offense? Talk about Derek Carr passing the ball. Talked about the run game. What about the offensive line before we move on?
The offensive line was pretty good today. I think they struggled really early on with pressure. They were getting beat down with pressure, but I think there's some adjustments later on. And Derek Carr was getting the ball out quicker, and I think he handled pressure really well. He had that play to Foster Moreau in the red zone where he stepped up in the pocket. I still hate how he holds the ball. I hate that. Hold the ball with two hands, please, Derek. You scare the hell out of me every time you move in the pocket and you just hold the ball like a loaf of bread. This ain't basketball. I don't care what you say. Just hold the ball two hands, Derek. And I thought he played really well, navigating pressure and everything. So I mean, he's playing really well. I think he's playing at a high level right now. A lot of people might not agree with that. I don't know, but I thought he's played well the last 3 games and he's played winning football. So, but yeah, the offensive line is getting better. They're doing really well in the run game. So. I mean, that's all that matters right now with the too high and the coverages, and they're seeing those light boxes, and they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious. Like when I was watching it, and it was like, okay, second down and short or second down and long, and they're still running it. Some of these third down plays where they're still running it. You're thinking like, okay, they're running it a lot, but then you realize, okay, this is a cover two defense. They're obviously they're coming into the line of scrimmage with two high safeties, a light box. So Carr's like, okay, well, we got to run it. Like that's the part of playing quarterback is, you have two plays or you have multiple options within a play, and you whatever you do, you audible, you check whatever it is, and you get into that run play now because you get a light box. That was, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith does this. Lovie Smith does this. He will play too high against a run team. He doesn't care. He does this. So I mean, that's Lovie Smith. That's neither here nor there. But most teams are going to have to get into single high, and I think you'll see a more explosive passing game as a result of that because teams are going to eventually get 8 in the box to stop Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, and once you get 8 in the box, man, and then you get man to man on any of these guys, and Waller comes back or any of these players, I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard on anybody playing single high against these guys. So we'll see how teams attack them still. It'll be interesting to see how that goes going forward. But next week they got the Saints, who are they play a lot of cover two man, and they play a lot of man to man single high. They believe they can stop the run. So we'll see what they can do over there next week.
Yeah. All right. Let's transition. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. I thought that the defense looked shaky. Certainly to start, it looked like, maybe this defense was missing Nate Hobbs on the outside, but Anthony Averett, that definitely looked like a guy who was taking, he's taking some time off, so he looked a little shaky out there. I counted 3 pretty critical receptions that Averett gave up, including 2 touchdowns. There was one, I see a lot of people talking about Merrick. I'm not sure if this is the one they're talking about, but there was a look in cover 2 where they get an inside release corner route from the number one on the outside, and Averett doesn't cushion the corner; he doesn't sink underneath it, and so the only guy there is Merrick. So I think a lot of people are saying like, why didn't Merrick make that play? But it's zone. You got to squeeze the zone. You got to have two guys, doing it. It can't just be one guy. Otherwise, we'll just play man coverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one was on Averett, at least from the broadcast. I'll go through all 22 and I'll see for sure. But it looked like that they weren't covered too. So there needs to be a corner underneath that, and there just wasn't. And then there was another big like crossing play action across the middle of the field that got like 20-something yards that Averett gave up. So he definitely was struggling. He was looking shaky. And there was like these crucial receptions that were happening, third and longs that they were able to sustain these drives. And that's discouraging when it's Davis Mills we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So that part of it. But what I will say, sorry guys. What I will say about this though, they were obviously trying to stop the run. We didn't see a lot of pressure on the quarterback today because we had to stop that back, and that back looked good. You have to come and gang tackle that guy because he's gonna step through arm tackles. You can't just tackle him with one guy. That back is the real deal. He's probably gonna be one of the best backs in football for a few years, as long as he's young and healthy. But didn't get a lot of pressure, and that was because they were stopping the run in this game. I don't think we'll see that kind of like emphasis to sell out. You know what I'm saying? To stop the run against most teams. So we should see better pressure than we did in this one.
Yeah, because it was mad quiet with the pressure wise. I thought Davis Mills had all the time in the world to kind of
a lot of time.
throw the ball, wherever you want to. They didn't. I mean, they blitzed sometimes, and when they did blitz, that's when they got pressure. I felt like. So I mean, you saw Davis Mills with a lot of time. Of course, Damian Pierce is just for the TDL brand right there, him balling anyway. So we like seeing that. Even though it was a loss, he could ball all he wants at a loss. We like that.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's good. Yeah, we'll take that.
We'll take that. We'll take all that ball in a loss. But. You could tell they were out there to stop Damian Pierce, but sometimes you just can't stop him, man. I mean, sometimes he's just gonna break every tackle. It ain't gonna matter, and you gotta just kind of stay the course. I thought they struggled with tight ends a little bit today. I thought Akins had some big plays. I thought they were, attacking, able to attack with the tight ends, but I thought they held it down outside. Not a lot of wide receivers, what I'm saying, make a lot of plays. I mean, Brandon Cooks plays a lot more slot right now than he has been playing outside, so you see him doing a lot more slot stuff and. They were able to attack him a little bit, but it wasn't much outside. It was mostly inside stuff, which we've been seeing all year. So,
yeah, but I mean, you let Davis Mills go for 300 passing on you. I know that they were trying to come from behind, but this is Davis Mills we're talking about. Yeah. I just think that this secondary is in serious flux right now. It's really lacking a playmaker. Mm-hmm. You could say Deron Harmon stuff in front. Like come on, that's. Garbage time. They're really pressing to do something. Yeah. I'm looking forward to when we could see a DB get some ball production on third downs. Like that's what this defense is really missing right now. I know a lot of people are down on the secondary. So when I go through the all 22, I'll have a better idea of the exact struggles in this game. But I was surprised, honestly, to see Davis Mills have so much success. Yeah, I think that's a really good indication of how bad this secondary is.
Yeah. I know it's a big indication, man, because he looked very comfortable back there. He didn't throw any interceptions. He looked very comfortable. He looked like he was a top 20 quarterback back there, and he's not. He's probably a 30 or 31 or 32. You know what I'm saying? He's fringe starter backup player. They're not going to be looking to keep him around probably next year the way he's playing. So to see him have his best performance of the year, which it really was. I mean, that was his best performance of the year against the Raiders. That's kind of scary for, the outlook of, making the playoffs, because they got to play some defense to make the playoffs, man. I don't care what anybody says or, what excuses people want to give the defense or whatever they want to do or give them the leeway or whatever. You can't have Davis Mills picking you apart, bro. I shouldn't be worried about Davis Mills. I'm sorry. If you really have the defense that you want to put out there, you can't have him picking you apart like that. Because that's what I'm saying. If you play Trevor Lawrence, who's probably a better quarterback than him, what is he gonna do? They got him coming up. Yeah, Andy Dalton coming next week. You know what I'm saying? Like Andy Dalton's a professional, and he's not the best quarterback in the world. I'm not saying Andy Dalton's good or anything like that, but if Jarvis Landry, those guys come back, I don't know how long this guy's hurt. Don't quote me. I might be wrong or whatever. But Chris Olave is still out there. He starts eating with Andy Dalton. He can pick the secondary part too if Davis Mills can. So it's a big deal in my opinion.
Basically, if Davis Mills can, anyone can. Period.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Like who's worse than Davis Mills in the NFL quarterback wise? I'm not gonna put you on the spot and make you like name these guys and just disparage
I
them.
was trying to
But
think.
I'm saying like, yeah, it's gonna be a small list of starting quarterbacks that are worse than Davis Mills. So if
Yeah.
Davis Mills is doing this, and we're not talking about it wasn't all fourth quarter when they were down by 10 points. You know what I'm saying? It was first quarter, first drive of the game, and he's dicing. So, I mean, like it's concerning.
Big
So
time.
Shady Ways had this to say.
That's disrespectful, Shady.
Disrespectful, but
I
he's
mean, I
got a
guess
point.
technically how he's playing, I guess.
Yeah, he's got a point right now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be really interested to see this run defense from the end zone angle.
Okay.
I there was a lot of broken ones. They gave up way more big chunk gains than at any point in this in this season so far, and against the run game. So I'm going to be really interested to see like what's the problem? Are guys not winning one-on-ones? Was it just a spectacular effort from the back? Like what's happening on these plays? That's what I'll be interested to see. My gut reaction is that the defensive tackles aren't getting off their one-on-ones. That's my gut reaction on this. I saw some replays that were making me think that, yeah, that's the case. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see because really this whole defense, the way that Patrick Graham runs his scheme, it's about building a wall on the defensive line. It's about playing downhill against the run. They are supposed to stop the run. Like, that's the point of this scheme. Like, they're not stopping the pass, right? So like, the whole point of this is because, like, yeah, it might hurt our ability to pressure on play action pass, but we're going to stop that run, right? So if they're not even doing that, well, what does this defense really do well right now? It's we saw when the defense goes down a playmaker like Hobbs, you're going to have those lulls. You're going to have the other team that has the ability to put the drives together because no one's making splash plays. It can't just all be on Crosby. So someone's got to step up. Obviously Daron Harmon had that play at the end, but someone's got to step up, make these plays earlier in the game, get some turnovers, make some, huge hits, something like that. And we just haven't seen it really from anyone other than Crosby consistently so far.
Yeah, I mean Crosby's the only player playing consistently. I mean Hobbs was playing consistently too. He had a bad game against the Chiefs, but man, you definitely need him back too, is for sure. It's yeah. You expected some of these rookies to take a leap, to my opinion, especially Javon Diablo. Now, I expected him to take a leap. I thought he would. Kind of the performance, learning linebacker, playing solid football as a rookie. He just hasn't got any better. As a linebacker. Uh, so we're not seeing a lot of growth from some of these rookies. I mean, I know Moregs, he's up and down. He's having some good games and some bad games. He still looks like he's a pretty solid safety overall, I guess. But I mean, that's really what it is. We're seeing a lot of disappointment from the young guys. That it's a couple of draft picks that we expected to kind of take leaps. We're not seeing that.
No.
Um, and
Yeah.
Also I think some of the scheming around it a little bit too. We got to find ways to get some of these players in better positions, I believe, to succeed. So I have to figure that
I
out.
I believe that Patrick Graham is doing that.
Okay.
When you see Merrick, he's coming down, he's playing the strong hook in cover three or something like that. They want a DB in these places that have like historically been killing this team. Like it's usually like Denzel Perryman right there, and it's just like an automatic reception for a tight end. You bring Trayvon Merrick to play that instead. He had a pass breakup early on in the game, playing that zone. I think his on that play, at least his situational awareness was like a little better to not be so like laid back and and actually contest that catch. So if we just keep on seeing him make those little small steps, I think that should be okay. But yeah, I mean my biggest gripe with Trayvon Merrick is it's not the plays that he's supposed to make, it's the plays that great safeties make it to help out their defense. He's not doing anything like that. He's like not even close. So if he's just like a matchup guy who can play like solid man coverage against tight ends, like yeah, that's beneficial. But if we're talking about Merrick, we wanted to talk about him like this same way we talk about Justin Simmons and Micah Hyde and these other great safeties in the NFL that are ball hawks, right? These guys make plays when the quarterback is throwing somewhere way completely different, right?
Yeah.
And they're like reading it, they're coming off, they're closing the middle of the field super late, or like they're making a spectacular play because they got the anticipation, they got the film study, right, to go along with great athleticism. But right now, all we're seeing from Eric is just like he's a pretty good athlete and he's got good size. We're not seeing like that anticipation, like the instincts to like go do something about, we're not, he's not even close to that level yet. And honestly, like, why would we anticipate him like all of a sudden getting there? Like, I wouldn't hold your breath and say like this guy's going to become the next Jesse Bates. I know that we want to believe that because he's a Raider, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that one for Trayvon Merrick. That being said, if he can just tighten up and be a good man coverage guy, I think that's a benefit, having a safety who can play some man coverage on a tight end and just be that coverage guy. He doesn't have to be a huge playmaker if other guys at least can step up, but we'll see about that.
All right.
All right, we talked about Trayvon Merrick. I know that some people were asking about him in the comments. Any other things that you saw? I saw someone ask a question twice.
What was the question?
They said something about getting a penalty. I don't know. I wasn't understanding the question, but I saw they asked it twice. Okay, so I'm looking through the comments. I'm not seeing too much here.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, we can talk about special teams. Third phase.
But what happened? I mean, you can speak on that more than me.
Well, I know that there was a penalty on it was Masterson. I remember Luke Masterson got called for a illegal block in the back on one. It was a return, obviously, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's the only, wasn't that the only miscue? And then DJ Turner muffed the punt, but he got it back. Those are the only two miscues I saw on special teams. I mean, special teams is okay, right? Here we go. This guy, how about the script flip? We get the false start, the forced punt, and the offsides to extend drive. So he's saying we're getting calls now. That's what he's saying. We're getting calls now.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're playing better football now. I know we're seeing people go the 6 wins in a row, whatever. But they got to do one game at a time. They got the Saints next week. They got to go win that game. The Saints can beat them. And like I said, beat the Saints, right? So they got to win this next one. The Chargers, they lost today. Sort of the Broncos. I mean, they're I mean, they can beat those teams too, but they just can't take these teams lightly. They got to go up there and do what they're doing, man. It's gonna be harder to run the ball on the Saints. I mean, I haven't looked at their stats, but historically, for the past 2 or 3 years, it's hard to run the ball on them. So we'll see how that goes with this game. But it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes, and get ready for that one.
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts, man?
I had something, but I lost it. So we'll get back to it when we do the review.
Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys coming in. We got 245 today, so appreciate all the love that we always get from every single one of you guys. We got a Raiders win, so it's going to be an exciting week. You know what I'm saying? No negativity. Everybody played well. So it's gonna be happiness on Raiders Twitter, everywhere, Raiders forums, Raiders Facebook. Everybody's gonna be happy, high fiving. You'll be high fiving at work. It's gonna be a good day. Good decisive win. So like I said, subscribe. We're out.
Peace, y'all.